NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. Well, when you look at the live pictures, you can't help but say, here we go again. The revolution was supposed to be over. We went through this last winter, the people of Cairo flocking into Tahrir Square, the protest erupting into violence and bloodshed. Mubarak, remember, was forced out. The army was in charge until elections and a government could take over. And yet tonight, this is where we are. Violence and bloodshed in Cairo, in a society that badly needs order and leadership. This is day 4 of this uprising, by the way. The death toll, at least 30, at least 2,000 people injured. That number on the rise. And once again, our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, is there for us. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. There are still tens of thousands of people tonight in this square trying for 2 revolutions in a single year. Today, the Egyptian military did offer some concessions, but it wasn't enough. Protesters today carpeted Tahrir Square. Dissent mixed with force. There were more clashes, some intense. The anger here is focused on one man, President Hosni Mubarak's successor, Field Marshal Hussein Tantawi. Protesters say he never implemented democracy as he promised. Today in Tahrir Square, they hanged his effigy. And now caught up in this second revolution are 3 American college students on a semester abroad. Egyptian television showed them looking sheepish, in detention, accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at security forces. Back in the square by 4 p.m., hundreds of thousands packed in. This is the biggest demonstration since President Hosni Mubarak was toppled nearly 1 year ago. It's also the biggest challenge to the military, which has dominated political life here for nearly 6 decades. These people were promised democracy. It wasn't delivered. Now they're determined to take it for themselves. But would toppling the Egyptian military be good for the United States? The military is secular, it's U.S. funded, it defends a peace treaty with Israel, and for decades, it's been a peace broker in the Middle East.
The main role of the Egyptian army is to protect the Egyptians. And so far, and I mean to this day, to this point in time, it is actually attacking the public. It's attacking the Egyptians. In the evening, Tantawi gave a rare television address. But it was soon clear he wasn't stepping down. Instead, he said Egypt will form a new government and have early presidential elections. The reaction in Tahrir? The field marshal is a traitor, he said. And clashes resumed, more intense than before. And Brian, regarding those 3 American students, U.S. Embassy officials here in Cairo have already been in contact with them.
Richard Engel back again, Tahrir Square in Cairo. Richard, thanks. Let's bring things back domestically to the rush that is